What it is, my 10 Peace and Grease here, and today we're going to be talking about the Protovyre cosmetics. So as such, please forgive my fashion frame. It is only like this to really show off the Protovyre cosmetics. Now, why are these cosmetics getting so much attention? Well, it's really quite simple. It boils down to the fact that this is really the first set of cosmetics that we've had, syandana, armor, and ephemera, that are upgradable via challenges, two each to be exact. So today we'll be talking about each of these challenges, how I completed them, and one thing to keep in mind about this Protovyre stuff is it is a cosmetic, and as such, you do have to purchase it from the market. You can't farm it in-game. It was just over 300 plat, if I'm not mistaken, so you should be able to farm up a few relics, sell a few primes, sell a few mods, and rack up that 300 plat as you need. Or even ribbon mods. That's a little bit quicker. But let's take a look at the Protovyre cosmetics. Now this is in the final state. This is the full apex on all three. And let's start with the syandana. Now when you purchase these, they're going to be in the standard form. And the standard form for the syandana looks a lot like, well, it looks exactly like this. And as you complete the challenges, you get an additional syandana, an upgraded syandana. So there are three stages. There's the standard stage as you bought them. Then there is the emergent stage, as you see here, which is a little bit more complex. And then finally, as you just saw, the apex form. Now, as you complete these, you will get a pop-up message letting you know which challenges you've completed, as well as when you go back to your orbiter, Ordis will send you a message letting you know that you have evolved a piece of the armor. So again, starting with the syandana, the first challenge is pretty straightforward. You just simply need to farm up 15 relics or Aya, however you choose to do so. Whether you run capture missions, sabotage, whether you run survival, whether you run defense, it's entirely up to you how you go about farming 15 relics or Aya. However you choose, done. That's the first challenge completed. The second challenge is a little bit bigger because you now, for the second challenge, need to farm up 75 relics or Aya. Now, I broke this down into more manageable bite-sized pieces. So I broke it down into 3 days, 25 runs per day. Now, where did I run to get my 75 relics or Aya? Well, you probably already know if you've watched my videos before, but I'm going to tell you again. So the location that I went to get my relics or Aya was in the void. And the specific locations were on Hepit or Uko. Why these two specific locations? Because these are capture missions and you can do them in under a minute. So racking up 75 runs is probably the shortest amount of time than any other method in this game. If you run a survival, you're going to have to wait 5 minutes before you get a relic, if you get a relic. For defense, you're going to have to run 5 waves before you get a relic, again, if you get a relic. But with these capture missions in the void, you damn near every single time get a relic. And, as I've said numerous times in the past videos, these can be ran in under a minute, depending on how good you are at running these missions. Now, the good news is the more you run these, the better you're going to get, which means you're going to whittle your time down. So even if it takes you the 2 minutes the first time, each time you run them, that time is going to drop as you go. So that's how I did it. Again, I just broke it down into 3 days total, 25 runs per day. Although I do recommend you wear your focus farming gear when you do this. Make sure your primary, secondary, melee, and Warframe all have a lens, whatever you happen to have. A standard lens, a greater lens, or an eidolon lens. And there's a very important reason why, and we'll talk more about that when we get to the ephemera. But instead, let us talk about the armor set. Now, the armor set is also pretty straightforward. And in this case, all you need to do is kill sentients. So you need to kill specifically 95 sentients for the first challenge on the armor. Where's the best place to do that? As you notice in the upper right hand corner of my screen, that's right, Octavia's Anthem. Start the quest over again and get to this stage in the quest, and as long as you are there, sentients will constantly spawn. Now, do not complete this quest after the first challenge. Make sure after you've got your 95 sentient kills, you abort the mission. And it's a very important reason why. And that is because you need more sentient kills for the second challenge. So for the second challenge, you're going to need 395 sentient kills. Again, I recommend you wear your focus farming gear. Primary, secondary, melee, and Warframe all have lens, whatever you happen to have, as you're doing this. Again, I'll explain more about that when we get to the ephemera. But upon completing those 395 sentient kills, you can then finally go to extraction and complete this quest if you want, or if you need more sentient kills for a Riven mod, if they even have those anymore. All I ever see is open world challenges on Riven mods anymore, sadly. But do with that what you will. So then let's talk about the ephemera challenges. The ephemera challenges are pretty straightforward. For the first challenge, you need to rack up 250,000 focus. Now that number sounds very daunting, I'm sure, but it's not. Now the most efficient way to farm focus in this game is going to be ESO, Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. But I can tell you firsthand, wearing these cosmetics and wearing these on a loadout that has all of my good focus lenses, all I did was run armor bounties on the plains of Eidolon and Fortuna. And after about 5 days, off and on throughout the day and night, of running the armor bounties, I racked up 250,000 focus. Just that simple. So it may sound like a daunting number, but it really isn't. My point is that you can run Elite Sanctuary Onslaught if you choose. Sure, that's the most efficient way to do it, but you can't get armor bounty rewards from ESO. Likewise, if you needed to, say, farm, for example, Harrow Prime, or the Scourge Prime, or the Nell Prime, you're going to get focus for pretty much anything you do in this game. So you might as well take advantage of it. Now, the second challenge for the ephemera is 500,000 focus. Again, that's going to sound like a very daunting number, but again, I just simply wore my focus farming gear with these cosmetics and did my 75 relics, or Aya, and did my 395 sentient kills. And by the time I was ready to focus on the focus part of this second challenge on the ephemera, I'd already racked up 350,000 focus. Just that simple. So I literally only needed 150,000 focus more. And I just jumped into ESO. Ran a round of ESO. And I had racked up that 150,000 focus, the last bit needed. Done. Just that simple. So again, we'll take a look at this. So this is the full Apex upgraded all armor sets, armor, syandana, and ephemera. Really cool looking cosmetic set, I will say that. Now, I'm pretty excited about this because it does kind of open the door for what's to come down the pipeline in Warframe. Does this mean we're going to have weapons in Warframes that are upgradable via challenges? I don't know. It sounds kind of interesting and potentially fun as well. But you're going to have to decide whether this is for you. For example, I have a buddy that thinks this is really cool, like I do. We have a mutual friend who could not care less about this stuff. He just doesn't care about it. So, which are you? Well, you have to decide. But let me know what you guys and gals think down in the comment section below. And until next time, peace out.